Hello, everybody. Okay. Yeah. It's working. Cool. So I'm live and I need to see how many viewers. Oh, that's here. I'm still trying to figure out all the settings when I go live. I'm inspired today with a little song, and that's what I'm gonna start with. And after that, I can draw some cards for you, if you want. So welcome. Here we go. By the way, my guitar is always tuned in a lower natural tuning. So this is healing in and of itself, so to speak. In this now, I am. I'm the Alpha and Omega. Beginning, I am the end of all that is. Feeling now what is. Feeling is all there is, really. Feeling in and outside. Feel what is, whether it's sad or angry, always beginning and ending at the same time. It just is. No need to judge what is now, whether it's lovely, loving, perfect sunshine, or cloudy and rain. There is balance always, the nature of reality. Your reality, my reality, it just is. myself. I can sense more than just what is outside. I can feel what it means to me. Not literally. Love, yes, love, many songs written, shared, oh love. Why are we so afraid to show love? Have we forgotten the nature of reality? There's nothing more than love. So when your lover tells you he loves you not, it's still based in love. Hard to conceive with the mind. It is experience. It is exactly how painful it feels. Go inside and just be with yourself, be with your body. Just breathe. You're still alive, just breathe. This too shall pass, and it doesn't have to leave me now. No, everything is now. So new love and old love, it's all here now. And how I feel in this now is what attracts more. Whether it's what I want or prefer or not, doesn't matter. It is what it is. And the more I can accept that fully in my heart, the more love I become, the more love I attract. No need to judge myself for feeling pain or anger. No need to judge another for hurting me. That's not the truth of reality. In hindsight you'll see, but not now, no, now. You just have to breathe through it. Stand in the center of the circle of life. No end, no beginning, Alpha and Omega. It's always the same, like seasons. Seasons come and seasons go. Go to the middle, the neutrality is there. You feel more than just what is on the outside. You feel more what is on your inside. And it's deeper than anything consciousness, the center of your universe. Go there, be there, live there, shine your light, beloved ones. That one is that middle point. Be one now. Be that one now. I am one love. Okay, my first live song. Woo! That's a premiere. Whatever the word is for that. The first time, first one, yay! So, is anybody in the chat? No, of course not, because it's an awful time. And you all missed out on a song. First sip of coffee. Replenish the moisture in my vocal entireties. The voice box needs lubrication. So, if anybody is joining, we can do a little card reading. I love affirmation cards. I have like general one sentence affirmation cards. I have animal oracle cards and crystal crystal cards with affirmations, and there's the name of a crystal on it that might be helpful for you. So I love giving positive messages. It's not that I'm ignoring anything dark, but for example, if you work with tarot cards, let me get a sample of that. Like the Egyptian tarot cards, for example, or this is the Celtic tarot. It's very interesting if you learn about symbolism and things like that, and it's very helpful in getting to know what is more light energy and what is more dark light. And then there is also dark energy, anything going away from natural life. So you could call it death energy, right? But dark light is like an energy that goes a little bit pushing against the light because it has something to teach us. So that's a growth kind of dark, right? And so learning about the symbology, learning about tarot cards can give you more insights into how that balance is within you or me, and how we unconsciously, that's your dark light, create things in our life that we do not wish. But you cannot become aware of that unconscious or subconscious part of you until you are confronted with it in your outside world. And then everything from your outside world that's happening, you can take that inside, like your higher heart, for example, and just calmly breathe with it and take it in and really feel fully, not just the outside and what you think about something or what you prefer or don't prefer. Usually what we don't prefer, we don't like to bring inside of us, but try it, because then you get more information about it, what it is teaching you. And if you learn to ask questions like, okay, this is happening, take it within. What is it teaching me? What am I exactly resisting if I say, I don't prefer this, I don't want this, I don't like this, what am I pushing back against? And what does that tell me about, like a question I ask myself is, what did I have to believe for this to be true in my reality now? What did I have to believe for this to be true now in my reality? And then you wait for the answer. And that is the more difficult part, because in our day consciousness, day life, we are active, we are talking and doing and thinking a lot, and it's all in the way of that awareness and of that insight, more fully present in this now, because we usually live in the past or in the future, in our mind, in our thinking, and in our actions too, because we have these vessels and we live in a linear time. So we make a decision, so we think about something, we speak it, or we just start doing an action. So you have thought, action, right? Some people don't even think, they just act and are completely unconscious and don't even think after about what they did at all. There are levels of awareness, and no awareness is just one of the levels. But if you think first, and if you choose, like, okay, I'm going to do this now, for whatever reason or intention, and then you do it, that's later. So you think in the future, and then you act in the now, but because you created it with your mind already, you're just catching up to yourself, right? But if you know that there is only this now moment, then every thought, word, and action is only in this now. It has already been done the moment I thought of it. Or you could even say that I'm living from the future into my own past, because the thoughts I'm having are inspired by future actions. Whoa. Because you wouldn't have the thought if it wasn't there in the field already. So if it's fully unconscious, you cannot grasp. So what in us becomes aware of a thought or an action or a possibility, that's the observer. The awareness is not the mind. The awareness is not the action. The awareness is your inside, your heart, higher heart, but it's also your observer. So it's sometimes a little bit outside of you. It depends where the center of your consciousness field is, and that is where your focus is. So if you put your focus on your higher heart, like any energy work, exercise, you put your focus somewhere, or you have a visualization, then you are focusing on a possibility in a new space-time reality. So in that sense, what I was singing about in that song, the Alpha and Omega, no beginning, no end, or Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail, it's that we are infinite beings, and in this vessel we experience linear time, but actually there is no time, everything is infinite. And if you know that everything we experience is what we have attracted, whether unconsciously or consciously, so you can consciously attract by becoming a master of your emotions. So if you're sad, that you have found ways to comfort yourself, right? So emotional regulation, they call it in psychology, efficacy. And when you are angry, that you are able to calm yourself down so you don't act up on your anger, and that you don't express words that can be harmful for another. It's the do no harm in the hermetics, right? The emerald tablets, Thoth. For those who know, they know. So if you can, on the consciousness scale, like anger, sadness, guilt, shame on the bottom, and higher above neutral is like bliss and happiness and enlightenment, sort of, then if you don't rise too high, you cannot drop too low. Or if you don't drop too low anymore, you don't have to rise as high anymore. So I'm linking the space-time idea and the now, right? That's what I'm talking about, the alpha and omega, that everything is in this now, and a little bit manifestation-wise. So the emotional mastery helps you become more centered, balanced. So that's that circle. Let me draw this for you. So this is your energy field, and this is where we want to be, in the center of the circle, the 0 point. So emotions are oh, now I see something that my blue screen is getting a bit wee, because the sun is shifting. Everything is always changing in this now. So we want to be in that center, in that 0 point. So emotionally, right? Emotions. And our thinking, when it's in the past or in the future, right? Past, future, past and future, that's our, it's not quite perfect. Then the mind is here, or the mind is there. So when we have a new idea, we want to start a new project or something, or let's take a simple thing, doing the dishes, okay? It comes into your thought that, oh, I saw the dishes this morning, I still need to do the dishes. So a past thing, you saw that the dishes are dirty, or you haven't done it yet. And then it's like, oh, I need to do this. So not in this now, but there's a thought in the future. So you see, you skip the whole now just by having a simple thought like, oh, I see dirty dishes, I need to do the dishes, is the thought. Then take it back to the now. What do I need to do now? Oh, dishes. Can you feel the change in my energy when I just speak about this? So hey, I need to do the dishes. You feel there's like this pressure, like I must do something. It's a chore, it's heavy, it's or it's like it could be the reversed. It could be something that you really, really love doing, like, oh, I'm gonna make a song. Oh, I'm gonna make a song. Then it's really like hi, 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 hi. But then it's not. I am making a song. You feel there's calm in it. There's clarity. There's balance. There's no doubt. There is no emotional pulling up or pulling down. Because usually things from the past have a tendency to pull us down, and things from the future have a tendency to pull us up in our emotions, right? And if your state of being is so essential for your life, then by just having a thought or seeing something in your outside world that is triggering a thought, outside world is always past, then you have the thought, and if that thought is not in the now, in where the thought is taking place, so to speak, then you are projecting it to the future. And the more negative the past things are, the more likely it is that you are grasping on to some kind of hopeful future, but it's not in your now. In the now, you are in a lower state. So you don't have to change anything about your thought. No. You have to change how you feel about your thought. And all you have to do is come back to neutral, the 0 point. And if you are in the really lower levels of having a thought or something in the outside world that you feel very guilty about, guilt means that there's blame towards yourself or blame towards an other. That means that there is an imbalance in relating. And if you know that in relating there is also the balancing, just like the seasons, sometimes it's summer, then it's winter, spring, the 5 seasons, not 4, by the way. Then you know that there is also that middle line, the 0 line, like the in-between seasons moments are actually quite lovely. Not too cold, not too hot, not too this, not too... So the extremes of the weather, the extremes in nature is what pulls us out of the center to teach us something or to make us stronger. That's the growth in this universe. So back to the guilt, shame, blame. If you are relating, let me make a new one. Relating means 2 energy fields with a past, present, future and emotional states. So if you blame someone else, it means your vibration or state of being is low. What do you think happens if someone else is in its 0 point? That's our neutral state. So if we don't think or do anything, or we just wake up in the morning, we're neutral. So I'm blaming someone else. That will have the effect either of the other one's state going higher or also lower. Law of vibration tells me it draws the other one lower. Because your state of being is like a tone in a chord of a guitar, like all the strings. You are one string, this is the other string. And if you strike one string, the other one wants to vibrate with it. That's natural. So how you relate, if you always relate from a lower state of being, then you are pulling other people down with you. If you always come from a more neutral point, state of being, you just allow what is, whether the other is high or low, but you can stay centered. Now that is strong. And if you're always high vibing, so not centered, but high, always happy, 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 la 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 la, but the other one is really awfully low, then they will just start to pull you down. And you can blame the other for pulling you down, but that's just an expression of, hey, I'm blaming, so I am in a lower state of being, but it has nothing to do with the other per se. I allowed myself to be out of balance, right? So you can psychologically look at, hey, what is there to blame? Why am I blaming? And you can spend a lot of time on that. Or once you've been to the fifth dimension through your heart and opened up more and have done some healing work, you know that if you can stay centered, you don't have to do or say or change anything. It just is. And you can just allow the other one to be there. So that law of vibration is very simple. If the other one starts blaming you for shit, you just walk away. Or you tell them, hey, you're blaming me. And point them out like, hey, you're in a lower state of being. You want to be neutral? You want to have fun together? Or not? Not? Okay, bye. You can give them a choice. So, law of resonance. So in that sense, your center, whether you perceive that center to be your higher heart, so this is your heart center in the chakra system, this is your higher heart. So it's like we got new chakras or new kind of inner technology, you could call it. So there's a navel chakra now, a higher heart chakra, and there's another new chakra in the head area, which I will not point out because I haven't worked enough with it myself to be exactly pinpoint clear on where it is. So I'm still working on that. I'm always in progress. Oh, let me check if someone's watching. Nobody wants a card reading. Okay. Well, it is Sunday. Yeah, so in that situation with that blaming, all you have to do is, I'm still blaming, so I'm not in balance with someone else, so I need to go within. Right? So if something happens on the outside and it triggers an emotional response, so I'm being pulled down or up, so it could be something in your outside world that you're really, really happy about, like, oh yes, enthusiasm, woohoo, then you don't want to be pulled out of your center point in that sense too, because you want to stay balanced, like a mature attitude about it, right? Yeah. Sip of coffee. Cheers. And that whole concept of being in your center and past, future, and your emotional range. Let me get my... there's this chart that I want to show you. Because the other day I was thinking about that. This is the levels of consciousness. Many will know that already. The levels of consciousness chart. So the lower levels of consciousness is what they call it here. I call it lower emotions, but there is no higher and lower. It's just energy in your emotional vessel. So neutral is no energy. So it doesn't cost you energy either, right? So death energy is the lowest emotion or the lowest level of consciousness. That's what we are constantly being drawn into in this 3D reality, right? There's enough out there nowadays in information talking about that. We have been taught from a young age that has to do with the whole. Now I'm going into a too deep subject. Hang on. Yeah, it's a social programming, you could call it, because we start having an ego identity, and then later on in life you start to unravel that identity and become more who you truly are, sort of. So it has a purpose, building that ego identity, and that ego identity is entrenched in together with social, let's call it social conditioning. It's a condition to live. It's not a choice. You don't have a choice as a child, but even if you would be more mature, more older when that would happen, for example, it would still be the same thing. In order to survive on this planet, that's the structure, sort of this reality. But because we are shifting, this is why we have to think about things like this and have to feel what is this reality, right? Excuse me. So the lowest levels of consciousness is death, and the highest levels of consciousness is like full consciousness, so above supra-causal truth or divine grace and love and all the beautiful higher consciousness things. Now, and your I am presence is a little bit below that, right? So if you're already able to feel your I am presence and really be present in this now, observing yourself, then you're almost there. Yay! But I found that applying your awareness consciously on everything in your life is the biggest challenge, in a sense. But that is exactly what is needed. So in everything in your life, to balance it out into that 0 point, and anything that is not in that 0 point, anything that still triggers you emotionally or in your thinking is very judgmental, for example, that's another hint you're not neutral. Or anybody that you cannot accept for who they are, what they are, the situation they are in, the addictions they have, or the problems they keep putting, or even harming others. And now that goes into a big rabbit hole consciously for many people. If you judge someone for harming others, even though it might be a soul contract, I found that that can't be true. Judgment. On a higher level, you can see things differently, but then how do you take that back here in this level? Of course, in this level, you don't want others to harm other people. that makes sense also from a more core survival instinct. If you mentally identify with the victim, you don't want to be murdered, for example, by someone else, so you judge the murderer, right? But you don't identify with the murderer, for example. Why don't we do that? Just as much as we identify with victims. What is that? So if you close your eyes and really go within to find the answer, hey, if there's any situation where someone is harming or hurting another, and I go within, what does it tell me about me that I can relate, empathize with the victim, but not with the perpetrator? That means that there's a perpetrator in me, in my shadow side, that I'm not acknowledging, that I do not want to see, that I'm denying, pushing away in myself. Because it's way easier to empathize with the victim than it is to empathize with the murderer. And then you can have the difference, like you can mentally maybe start to empathize with a murderer, but can you emotionally? So think back what I just drew. Mind, past, future, now. Can you be in the now with the thought that you empathize with a murderer? And can you emotionally balance it without the blame or the shame? Because if you truly are an empath, you can fully feel how the murderer was thinking and feeling in your own vessel. If you only rationally empathize, then you're still judging on an emotional level, and you're still not integrating your own shadow of your own perpetrator inside. And that means there's still a victimized inner child in yourself that's not liberated. That's not part of who you fully are as a whole being. So you're still fractalized, compartmentalized in your consciousness field. So you see, the lower emotions teach us the most about ourselves. It's never about the other. The other is just showing us ourselves inside. So the world doesn't have to change. Do you feel the calm and the centeredness in that sentence? It is what it is. But you can consciously relate or not. You can choose whether you take your triggers inside and really feel into them, or you can just stay in the mental processing. And it's okay if other people just constantly get triggered and never go within. If other people just act and never think. that is their purpose, maybe, right? What do we know? Nobody really knows what we're doing here. In a sense, our soul knows. Hi, Dan. Stanton Mick, the books and TV series Hannibal features an empath that helps the FBI catch serial killers based on relating to the murderer's state of being. Is that Hannibal Lecter? Is that the film was maybe based on a real character, something like that? Is that what you mean? And welcome. Well, I guess it's not just an empath, right? If you can catch, so then there is like a remote viewing maybe, or psychic talents being used also. But if you use them, you are that empath, so you can fully feel that state of beingness, right? Yeah. Reese, no? Reese? No, but it's an expanded series. No, but it's an expanded series. Yeah. Yes, psychic as well. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Great. Good to see you here. I started with a song, so if you want to catch the replay, I was doing my first live making of a song. That was kind of awesome. And I'm just explaining how the 0 point of your mind, past, present, future, and the emotional levels of consciousness, right? So your emotions, higher, lower, things like that, how it sort of works, how we can handle things or not. Yeah, good to feel you too. A lot of changes last couple of months, all right? Hope you're doing good. So that was what I was spontaneously explaining, because in my song I was singing and talking about the alpha and omega and how important it is that we stay in this now moment, because in the knowing that there is no time but the now, then everything is already starting and like beginning and ending at the same time. So anything new or anything old, like past or future, it's all in this now, here, present for you. So and it makes you not jump so high and low on the emotional scale, right? So your consciousness level is not about going higher, it's actually how higher you go, the lower you drop. That's one of the things I was sort of struggling with also, even though I already go deep naturally. But it's about getting that seasonal flow of your energy more into that 0 point. So doing the shadow work helps you become more neutral, so you don't get drawn down so much as you would in relating to another. So if you're still very much in the blaming or shaming of other people because you cannot accept their behavior or what they think or whatever, then you are the one in a lower state of being, right? Or you still have something from your past influencing how you perceive it, and how you perceive life is your dimensional reality, bubble reality. But if you can go and take yourself to that neutral state and go within, then you can start to change that. And for me, like practically, it means that I'm very aware of my triggers, and sometimes I'm not able to change it right in that moment. So I withdraw myself from communicating so I can go within, so I can do my shadow work. And it might take a couple of years, and sometimes it takes a couple of months, and it becomes faster. So know that it does become easier. And then you can be more neutral in your relating to other people. But it's a process. And I realized that I was judging myself for not being able to heal my triggers like instantly or the next day, and that I would know better how to respond after that. No, I still don't know. I'm just human. So in that sense, you wrote more. Let me see what you wrote. Psychic as well, good seeing you. I like the new logo too. You do? Yeah, it's a bit how do you say, influenced by certain symbology, but I started to design it coming from, okay, what's my favorite color, and I want to shine my core essence somehow in it, sort of. So yeah, I'm a Coca-Cola bottle, sort of. I'm very sugary. Don't take too much of me in you, or you'll go, hi! Oh yeah, the most fun kind of changes. Yeah, yeah. Minimizing programs, activating and running amok. Oh yeah. And I found that there are so many programs. It's like you have the bigger themes or programs running, but attached to that, it's like a mind map, right? Attached to that are many small little programs. So if you clear one of the smaller programs, the big program is still running, and then the next time the other ones get. And even if you've done more than half of the little other, like connected fears or whatever, then it still gets triggered. And sometimes, if you don't stay on it, the other little ones come back up. They pop back up because you haven't healed it fully yet. So it's not just what they describe sometimes like an onion and you peel the layers, right? But it's all interconnected, like neurons in your brain. There are multiple things that can light up. And then there's light, and then there's light. And you're constantly, sometimes it feels like you're chasing the triggers, and you're constantly being attacked, targeted. Matter of perception of it. When you're still in the blaming, shaming game, you call it targeting. I still do sometimes. But if you look at it from a more like neurons idea, it's there to be that resistance, or to light up for you what next needs to be healed. So it's actually your inner healer showing you, hey, now this, now this. And you go like, no, I don't want to do it. Because we usually, as the human perceiving it all, it's like, oh no, we don't want to do that, and I'm in resistance. So that's the inner child part, and that's exactly what needs to be triggered so we can heal it, and you don't go into those tantrums anymore, right? Or in the resistance. Minimizing, yeah, that's the same, yeah. But it's a chore, and it depends on the kind of programming as well, of course, because there's the regular social conditioning to build up an ego identity, so you lose your identity in a sense as well. But then there is more universal conditioning as well. So it's like, I thought of that like it's more like a planetary idea thing, So you have a solar system, and there is like programs based on the reality of this world, sort of. But then there's the 12 planets together create another kind of programs, Venus, Jupiter, and all those. So that's another influence to help us see, to awaken us. So it's less the individual, and that's more the collective of humanity, sort of, gets triggered in that sense as well, right? But then there is also, beyond this universe or this solar system, there's other galaxies, and they are an influence or an overbearing kind of structure as well, influencing us on a more subtle level. So in that sense, we are never done unprogramming, and we are never done programming others, because any unconscious program we still have running, we put that on others. So, for example, from a parent to a child, all the unconscious programming is exactly that which you show to the child, so the child picks them up. You don't even have to speak, but just your actions show, and your energy is more of an imprint than what you say. And so in that sense, that emotional state of being is way more important in the imprinting or the programming or the conditioning of the energy of another, and especially when they are in that open state. So in that sense, it's also very important to be aware when you are a meditator or you use binaural beats, for example, things like that, that when you go into these more theta states, you are so easily influenced because you are like that child again. So if you think about the ascension process or the deepening of your wholeness or becoming more whole, or whatever your spiritual journey, what label you want to give it, there is that tendency to be so open that you just get more programming instead of clearing more, right? And I'm not talking about protection or whatever. I'm talking about knowing when to be open and vulnerable in theta state, and when you can be more closed off a bit. I think it's okay to be closed off to certain energies or to walk away from certain situations. But you have to be very clear about your intentions behind it, or the motivation or the desire. And if your desire is, I want to be in that neutral 0 point, I think that is something that is worth striving for. Like in mindfulness, they always say, oh, don't strive for anything. Well, if you really fully give in to that idea, you don't get anywhere, do you? You don't even strive to breathe. So I joke, program or be programmed. Yeah. To be or not to be. Program or to be programmed. Yeah. So you are a program and you have a little influence on another, but the more you are in a theta state and not aware of it, the more you can be programmed. So it's all about a balance in that as well. So there's a neutral state. So the brainwave states is another layer. Maybe that's the third dimensional idea. So you have the mind is past, present, and past, present, future, and the emotions or the consciousness level can rise and drop. So third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimension, we like to see that in a linear sense as well, but it's not Your level of consciousness doesn't make you go to another dimension. It just shifts your perspective of the reality you are already in. So it's an inside job. And the more you realize what is influencing me and how am I influencing the outside, the more you know that just being who you truly are is enough, sort of. And that's already triggering for others, and that's a good thing. You know, if you want to call it good or bad. Because it's an opportunity for the other one to see their own programming or their own judgment of you. Right? So, it goes a bit deep, I know. I like jokes too. Yeah. Because humor is a tool, in a sense, also to make things more relative. So you get a more abstract level. That means you have a little bit more of that observer quality in you when you use humor. It means you don't take it so seriously, because everything you take very seriously, then you get more stuck states of the emotional states. So if you blame another and you can't laugh about yourself blaming others, then you're not in the observer, right? So if your lover breaks up with you and it's very, very painful because you thought he's the one and everything is fine, but just that one thing, and then he just takes off, right? Or you find out he's been cheating on you or something. If you cannot laugh about yourself, like, how did I attract this? Then you're not ready to heal it or to see what program was underneath it or whatever. So humor is very important, and it also tells you that the level of consciousness that you already came in with, sort of, or your character is able to do that. But most people have a level of humor that is like more still in the superficial outside world, and it's very judgmental, and it's very like they can break a taboo with it, but that taboo is based on judgment still. So they're still playing with those energies in essence, but a more refined sense of humor is like Ram Dass or the yogis, or then it's more like if you awakened the mystic within, that you can then get to another level of humor, and really that self humor about yourself. It's like a self-reflective kind of humor. There's another word for it that slips my mind now. But that's sort of essential in it. And you said something. I'm sorry, I have to leave now for Sunday morning Tai Chi. Oh, good for you. Do Tai Chi. Yeah, I did some Qigong-like exercises this morning too. I'm in a different time zone. Ah, thank you. Yeah. Oh, helpful. Great. Thank you. Enjoy the Tai Chi. See you soon. Bye. Thanks for being here. Hi, woo! Good morning, afternoon, evening. Yes, here it is afternoon, and there's a lovely sunshine today. It's a bit dry. I watered my plants. How's the weather with you? So, woo rider, is it morning where you are? I sort of think it's morning there. Must be. Anyway, would anybody like a card? Because it's called Song and Cards, and I was just talking about my spiritual insights. I have like affirmation cards. The kids are off to church. That's TMI. I do that too. So you're a perfect mirror for me. Thank you. The kids are off to church. Got a few hours of relaxation. Nice right now. It's 10:30 a.m. morning. I was right. And it's about 63 degrees Fahrenheit. That's like a lovely springtime feel, because we have Celsius. I'd have to look it up. But anyway, would you like an affirmation card maybe? Or an animal oracle card? Or a crystal card? Or affirmations is that as well? Just let me know. Oh, or a rune. You know, the rocks of the Vikings, things like this, those symbols. Dr. Amir uses those too, but he uses them in his own manner. That's really lovely too. I do the corny, old-fashioned type of way. A crystal card, please. Yes, of course. Be happy to. And nice that you have some time to relax. Okay. Woo. I didn't even shuffle yet. Diamond. Woo! Number 11. Diamond. Enlightenment. I'm going to show you the card for a minute, and I'm going to look up the card. I have a folder on my computer. Where is it? The crystal cards. Oh yeah, here. And then the English. And then number 11. Diamond. Illumination. The light of my soul shines with clarity. So you can repeat that sentence, or you can write it down, or I can copy it in the chat, whatever you want, or you can just listen to it, or you can repeat it after me. So it's 4 affirmation sentences. So I'll just do it with a pause, and you can see whatever, or just type. Yes, put them in the chat, please. So the light of my soul shines with clarity. I am powerful and able to reach my full potential. Powerful, able to reach my full potential. I look inward as well as outward with clarity. My crown chakra radiates light and connects me to the universe. So crown chakra radiates light. And of course we all know, oh, that's not, I meant to copy it. Oh, it doesn't copy and paste like this. You have the first one, the light of my soul, yeah, powerful, able to reach, I look inward as well. Yeah, you got it. Cool. Let me do an emoji. Yay! Play! Cool! I hope you like this card. And if you speak the affirmation out loud, like 2 or 3 times, and really feel inside your body how it feels when you speak those words. It helps if you close your eyes, of course. I don't know if you meditate, if you're used to that, going within. If not, then first focus on your breath and close your eyes, and then it's a little bit easier to go within. and just be there and relax. You know, you do it every night when you fall asleep in your bed, so it's normal. You're used to it. And if you're a bit scared to go within, you know, you can always ask your higher self to join you or things like that. You know, people have thoughts about meditation or going within or closing your eyes during the day. I'm not saying you do. I'm speaking in general, because I know that people sometimes watch videos like this to just get some more information that they need. So I'm tapped in, and sometimes I feel that. So yeah, I hope you liked it. If you want another card, just ask. And you can also have like a question in mind for yourself. You don't have to type it in chat, and then I can draw like an animal oracle card, and that might point you in the right direction to help you with an issue or whatever. So that's sometimes helpful, right? You want a rune. Cool, of course. That's what I'm here for. You have a question in mind and the intention why you are asking your question inside, because the runes are more deep spiritual, right? I'm just going to draw one, and that'll be quite deep. So really make sure that you ask coming from the right intention. And now I'm going to draw it. So help Rune Rider with one rune, please. This one? Yeah? Like this. Oh! Yeah, that's number 25. The unknown. So there's no symbol, it's just darkness. What was I just speaking about? About going within and that it's dark? So it's unknown. And unknown is not bad or negative, and the dark is not negative. There is more to be seen. Now let me go check the meaning. There's also the videos in the playlist runes on my YouTube channel or on my website. You can click my website, that's maybe a little bit easier, and then search for rune. So it's number 25 in English, but I also have it in text here, and for now I will read it here. And then I need the English one of the number 25. Let me see. This is the Dutch one. And then here I must have yes, the English one. Of course I have it. So here we go. Are you listening? Yeah, so it's about the upcoming future, how it will look like for your family. Empty is the end. Empty is the beginning. This is the rune of complete trust. She must be regarded as compelling evidence of the most direct contact with your true destiny, again and again, like a phoenix rising from the ashes, which we call destiny. The empty rune can indicate death, but this death is usually meant symbolically and can refer to any aspect of your life as you live it now. Relinquishment of control is the final challenge for the spiritual warrior. So let go of control. Woo. Here the unknown lets you know that it is at work in your life. The void contains pure supreme potential, pregnant and empty at the same time. It encompasses the whole heat of heart of being, everything that can be realized. Drawing the blank green brings our deepest fears to the surface. Will I fail? Will I be abandoned? Will everything be taken away? And yet our highest good, our numbers, the possibilities, and all our fruitful dreams are encompassed by this empty room, this pregnancy. This grant requires willingness and consent, for how can you exert control over something that does not yet occupy a form? The empty green often demands no less proof of trust than the empty-handed leap into emptiness. Drawing the empty rune is a direct test of your confidence. On the one hand, the empty rune represents the path of karma, the song of what you have done and the limits of what you are and will become. So even what you will become has limits in this now, in karma. Ooh. At the same time, however, this rune teaches that the real debts of old karmas change and evaluate as you change and evaluate. So it is pliable, malleable. Nothing is predetermined, and there is nothing that cannot be avoided. So you have to go through certain fires, right? And if indeed there are things hidden from God, between quotes, you need only to remember what beckons is the creative mind of the unknown. And when you draw the empty rune, gather courage and know that the work of self-change in your life is progressing. Woohoo! That's it. To boldly go where no one has gone before in your own unique life, right? And can you be in a confident trust in your universe, your reality, that you can create better, not by changing on the outside, but by being more possibilities on the inside. Yeah, there you go. That makes sense. I need to learn to trust those around me, that they can and will make the right decisions. Yes, because if you send out the energy or vibration of trust, that is the most helpful for the other to be in alignment and to be in their trust, in their creational process and in their discernment. Because if you send out the vibration of distrust, then they will slip easier into their distrust of the universe, or their distrust of their own confidence and their own discernment and everything. So if you stay neutrally a bit more hopeful and loving and trusting, then things can come to you in a better way for you as well, because it's better for everyone. That is the win-win of the highest good for me is the highest good of another, then it's aligned. That's how simple it actually is. You don't have to align with some bigger God thing without, on the outside, but it's more like an inside. The more I am in my own divine center, heart center, the more I give the opportunity to another to be there as well. And if not, I can accept and just allow that which is not that. And I say, thank you for showing me this, or thank you for the trigger, or thank you for the shit in my life, or thank you for no money enough. Thank you. Now let's do better. I'm gonna stay, aligned with me more. Yeah, exactly. Beautiful. Confidence is key, I think. It will help build confidence in our family. Oh, that's beautiful. Yes, the more you can stay heart-centered, like heart and mind balanced, and trust more in your heart than in what you think, and be more mindful about your emotional state, and shift more easily back to neutral, the more the unknown comes closer. You magnetize it towards you, so all the possibilities of the things you do want come closer to you. But if you stay in a lower vibrational state of, this is not what I want, then it's not coming. You're not attracting that. You're attracting more of that what you don't want. So stay in that 0 point. Not in the past, not in the future, in the now. I am that I am. That sentence really helped me stay in that present moment. And when I was amongst people, I would start to say it in my mind as an affirmation mantra. I am that I am, I am that I am. And then really feel that I'm observing myself. So I'm not one, I'm sort of also my observer. So I'm sort of two. That's the 11 code, the awakening code, is that you are actually observing yourself. So you're not just this human, you are consciousness. You are aware of this body, you are aware of your thoughts. What is aware of my thoughts? What is aware of my emotions? That's the observer. Yeah. And then in connection to another, it's also, so that's 11. That's what it's about. But anyway. Yeah. I trust that confidence and that trust is there for you and your family. You are both very powerful, what I've heard, felt, seen before from you. So yeah. Like it seems like the answers are always right there and we know what to do. It's just harder actually following through on them. Yes, because in the following through with them, you are then blocked. That's how we perceive it, right? Blocked, or it's difficult, or it's heavy. But in essence, if it wouldn't be difficult or heavy, it's not much to fight for, right? So if love is important, you want to fight for it. That is the inner struggle. So anything you feel is like a resistance in your life, when you start to do right action with the right intention, the right motivation, and it feels heavy, it's because it's based in love. Or there's still a triggering, or there's still an intention that's not pure love yet. So maybe there's still a little bit of judgment in it, or something like that. That is also what can make it heavy. So if you take that situation within you, you can get more clarity on what is exactly the difficult, heavy part about this next step, or about this situation, or so it's your own intuition that gives the most clarity in how to progress. And sometimes it's just a very simple lesson that we need to be more clear in our intentions. And sometimes it's another lesson in, oh, I was judging. And then my whole intention about taking a certain action was not in doing something for my highest good, but it was actually being against the actions of another and judging them as bad or something. Then we are more blocked now than we ever were, because that's where the collective is now. It has to be pure-hearted, heart-brain coherent. And the answers are really like next to you. It's like they're whispering in your ear, and all you have to do is shut up and listen before it gets in your ears. Or in an inside job, all you have to do is go from the outside of your chest inside to your heart. And use your breath, flowing water, everything that flows is helpful. So movement can help you go within. So even like dancing, singing, music, creativity is helpful in our co-creation with the universe. That's why it's called creation. You create, right? So it's like art. Art is pure universal essence. How has life been for you? It's pretty difficult. But hey, I'm alive, I breathe, and my heart is beating. So yeah. And that's coming from the perspective in how you ask it, as if life is doing something to me or treating me. But it's my own co-creation coming back to me. So I'm grateful because it's showing me exactly where my thoughts, my words, and my actions have not been in alignment with what is for my highest good. And I'm still throwing tantrums. I'm still, not there at all. And it's on all levels of my life. I'm still in that, I call it like a death point, like no money or in the below, right? In debt. Health, can't go anywhere, can barely walk. Mentally, often depressed, but that's also because it's physically not very do I have food, kind of level. And spiritually is sometimes like, well, I'm not going to meditate today because I just have no focus, because mentally being pulled between two extremes and just trying to stay balanced, trying to be, in my center. And I'm still laughing. I don't know how I do it, but there's this acceptance in it just is what it is. This too shall pass. And I know that the more I can stay in that, I will attract better. And that's a really deep trust. Because sometimes in the morning, I have these, I'm practicing life before it happens, sort of, like kids do. And sometimes I have these really weird, creative imaginations that I just want to throw everything off the balcony or out of the window and just run through the streets naked or something. Like, this is what you're doing to me. And then immediately I have to laugh when I have those thoughts. So I wake up laughing about my own imagination. Like, no, that's not true. So, yeah, life is funny. And as long as I can feed my cats, you know, it's like my standard of living becomes so low that there's not much that I need. You know, only true needs will remain, and somehow the universe will provide. Okay. But I am responsible. So I do have to take action as much as I can. Right? Confidence is key. Like, it seems like the answers are there. How has life been for you? Long answer, right? Yeah. Well, it is what it is. Yeah, I did a little bit of a song at the beginning. I created live a song about Alpha and Omega. So maybe you want to catch the replay later. Yeah, so this is what it is. And I'm getting a bit tired now. And if there's nobody else who wants a card, then I'm gonna close this live thingy. Thank you for being here, Wu. Prayers that you get physical healing. Seems we are all going through that right now. Yeah, thank you. But I truly believe we just keep pushing forward one day at a time and do the best we can. Yeah, I'm not sure about the pushing. It's exactly the not pushing that I'm learning. But it is taking one step at a time and being more in the present, being more in this now than ever before, and being the best that we can be in every now moment. Yeah, it's a state of being. That's where it's all at. That's where we create from or co-create from. Yeah. And the doing the best we can comes naturally without thought when we are that state of being of the best that we can be in this now moment. That's all that's needed. And there is no judgment, there is no guilt, no shame, no blame. It just is what it is. It is based on what we have created before and what we will create in the future. And it's all in this now. And you can see it as an unraveling of a fabric of space-time. You can see it as like we all are roses and we are opening up and blooming, or we're dying again and then a new rose forms, first a stem and then you're blooming again. So it's like every lifetime has a peak, and when we honor that natural process of decay is beautiful too. It's just as potent as the beginning of new life. So if we are happy about a newborn baby, we can be just as happy about an older people dying away. It's the same in energy. It's all just energy, actually. There is nothing physical. Thank you for sharing your time. God bless to everyone. Yes, God bless. Thank you. And we are all that gods, right? That God is within us. That balance in your divine masculine, divine feminine creating that golden third energy, that trinity within, because everything is that trinity. And it's a geometrical pattern, right? Just like the circle or the square or a star or the pentagram, upside preferably, not the point down but up. It's all just geometry, and there is a divine balance in that geometry. So yes, thank you for being here. Blessings to you and yours, and yeah, have a wonderful day. And next time I'll spontaneously do this. I do some music, or maybe play some golden oldies, and some of these cards. So hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Thank you for being here. Search. Mao. That's my cat. Stream end.